Let's get straight to the point. You see things others don't see, and that doesn't make you special. It makes you dangerous. Dangerous to yourself. Dangerous to those around you. Dangerous to a system that needs everyone looking in the same direction. And if this makes you uncomfortable, it's because you know it's true. Every time you try to explain what you perceive, they look at you as if you were delusional. Every time you point out the obvious, they treat you as if you were the problem. And maybe you are, but not for the reasons you imagine. Tesla knew it. Nikola Tesla saw electricity where others saw empty air. He visualized alternating current while the world bet on Edison's direct current. And for that very reason, he died alone, broke, forgotten in a hotel room. Not because his ideas were bad, but because they were too far ahead for minds that could barely understand the present. Does that sound familiar? Of course it does, because you also see things others don't see, and with every passing day, that gift turns into your curse. Here is the brutal truth no one tells you. Seeing beyond does not guarantee success. It guarantees loneliness. While everyone walks the marked path, you're in the forest, opening trails no one asked you to open. And when you come back to show what you found, no one is waiting anymore. They left long ago, following the herd, because the herd offers something you don't have: the illusion of safety. Socrates was sentenced to death for seeing what others did not see. Galileo was imprisoned for observing what everyone could see, but no one wanted to accept. Nikola Tesla was ridiculed, exploited, abandoned. What do they have in common? They saw the truth before the truth was convenient, and that, in any era, is a crime. Not a legal crime, but something worse, a social crime. Because society doesn't punish liars, it punishes those who speak uncomfortable truths too early. Think about this. How many times have you stayed silent about what you really think because you knew no one would understand? How many times have you lowered the intensity of your ideas to fit into mediocre conversations? And what did you gain from that? Nothing. Just the false acceptance of people who never understood you in the first place. Meanwhile, your ideas stayed trapped in your head, rotting in silence, because the world prefers the comfort of ignorance over the discomfort of revelation. Here's what's going to hurt. No matter how much you see, if you don't know how to communicate it, you will die with your visions intact. Tesla was right about almost everything, but he didn't know how to play the game. He believed truth was enough, that brilliant ideas would sell themselves. A lie. Ideas don't sell themselves. They are imposed, manipulated, disguised into something digestible for the masses. And if you don't learn to do that, you'll end up like him. Brilliant, lonely, ruined. The world does not reward visionaries. It rewards those who know how to sell the vision. Edison was not a better inventor than Tesla. He was a better salesman. He knew how to package ideas, how to speak the language of money, how to manipulate the narrative in his favor. Tesla, on the other hand, lived inside his mind, convinced that the purity of his inventions would speak for themselves. And they did, but only decades after his death, when it no longer mattered. Do you know the biggest trap of seeing what others don't see? Believing it makes you superior. It doesn't. You're different, yes, but different doesn't mean better. It just means you're playing a different game. And most of the time, you're playing alone. While everyone else builds familiar bridges, you're designing ships that don't yet have a sky to fly in. And do you know what happens to those ships? They rust on the ground because no one understands them. No one needs them yet. Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice." But most people don't even realize the river is moving. You do. You see the constant flow, the perpetual transformation, and it drives you mad. Because you try to explain to stagnant people that everything is changing. And they look at you as if you were inventing problems where none exist. Here's the problem. The human brain is designed for survival, not for truth. Truth is uncomfortable. It demands change. It breaks structures. And the brain prefers a comfortable lie over a disruptive truth. That's why when you bring an idea that challenges the established order, rejection is immediate. It's not personal, it's biological. You're asking brains programmed for stability to accept chaos, and that goes against their nature. Tesla understood alternating current when the world barely understood electricity itself. He proposed wireless energy when people were still using candles. He spoke of resonance, frequencies, universal vibration, and they called him crazy. But he wasn't crazy. He was alone. That's the difference. Madness is seeing nothing. Genius is seeing too much. And both isolate you the same way. Do you want to know why it's dangerous to see what others don't see? Because you become a threat. Not to the system itself, but to the system's comfort. While everyone sleeps peacefully inside their certainties, you arrive shouting that the ceiling is about to collapse. And even if you're right, they will silence you. Because truth doesn't matter if it interrupts the fictional peace everyone has accepted as real. Schopenhauer put it brutally. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as self-evident. Which stage are your ideas in? Probably the first or the second, which means you'll spend years defending something that everyone will eventually take for granted without remembering that you saw it first. The real danger isn't that they don't believe you. It's that they believe you too late. Tesla died in 1943, poor and forgotten. Today, his name is on electric cars, on technologies that move the world. Did that help him? No, because posthumous recognition is the cruelest mockery. It's telling someone they were right when they can no longer do anything with being right. Here comes the brutal part. If you see beyond, be prepared to pay the price. Not with money, but with loneliness, with misunderstanding, with the weight of carrying ideas no one else can hold. And if you're not willing to pay that price, close your eyes and follow the crowd. Because mediocrity has its advantages. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't isolate, it doesn't demand anything beyond conformity. But you're not like that, are you? You can't turn off what you see, even if you wanted to. And that's the most messed up part of all. You didn't choose to see, you just do. And now you're trapped between 2 options. Stay silent and die slowly on the inside, or speak and die slowly on the outside. Both hurt, just in different ways. People think geniuses live in constant ecstasy, surrounded by admiration and success. A lie. Geniuses live in torment because they see solutions no one implements, errors no one corrects, futures no one anticipates. And that gap between what they see and what the world accepts consumes them. Tesla spent years trying to convince investors, governments, anyone who would listen. But no one did. Not because his ideas were bad, but because they were too good, too radical, too threatening. Here's the secret no one wants to accept. The world doesn't reject bad ideas. It rejects ideas that force change. Because change is terrifying. It means admitting that what you were doing before was wrong, and the human ego prefers familiar mediocrity over unknown genius every time. Nietzsche screamed it. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. You hear the music, you see the dance, you feel the rhythm, but others don't. And instead of trying to listen, they point at you. They call you weird, obsessive, disconnected from reality. And you know what? They're right. You are disconnected from their reality. because their reality is a comfortable illusion you can't live in. So what do? Adapt or resist? Because here's the paradox. If you adapt, you lose what makes you different. If you resist, you lose your connection to the world. Both losses are devastating. Tesla resisted and died alone. Others adapted, and their ideas died with them. There is no safe option, only choices with consequences. But here's where it gets interesting. The danger of seeing what others don't see isn't in the vision itself. It's in the obsession it creates. Because when you see something no one else sees, you can't let it go. It becomes your mission, your burden, your prison. Tesla didn't invent to make money. He invented because he couldn't stop seeing. Every night, he visualized complete machines in his mind, built them mentally, tested them, perfected them. Then he tried to bring them into the physical world. But the physical world wasn't ready. That's the curse. Being ahead, not just of your time, but of your environment's capacity to understand. It's like trying to explain the internet to someone from the 18th century. You might be right. You might have the full vision. But the words don't exist. The context doesn't exist. The mental infrastructure doesn't exist. So your ideas hang in the void, waiting for a future you can see, but no one else can touch. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." But when you see what others don't see, it's no longer perspective, it's clarity. And that clarity separates you. Because while everyone debates opinions, you've already reached the conclusion, and now you have to wait, silently, for others to catch up to what you discovered long ago. Here's the question that will make you uncomfortable. Is it worth it? Is it worth seeing beyond if it means living disconnected from the present? Because that's the real cost. It's not that you don't fit in. It's that you're living in a time that hasn't arrived yet. And that is lonely, frustrating, painful. Tesla spent years talking about free energy, wireless transmission, technologies that could change the world. And the world ignored him, because the world didn't want to change. It wanted to make money. And here's the harshest lesson. No matter how revolutionary your idea is, if it doesn't serve the current system, it will be discarded. Not archived, discarded. The system doesn't seek evolution, it seeks stability. And stability is achieved by repeating the known, not exploring the unknown. That's why visionaries always live on the margins. Because vision doesn't fit into rigid structures. It's like trying to pour an ocean into a bottle. It just doesn't work. So what do you do with what you see? Do you keep it or share it? Because here's the truth. If you keep it, it rots you from the inside. If you share it, it destroys you from the outside. Both options are terrible. But there's a third option no one tells you about. Learn to translate. Tesla didn't know how to translate. He spoke in technical terms, in complex visions, in concepts that required years of study to understand. Edison, on the other hand, knew how to simplify. He wasn't a better scientist, he was a better communicator. And in the end, communication won. Because ideas don't change the world, well-communicated ideas do. Here's the mistake. Believing truth defends itself. It doesn't. Truth needs lawyers. It needs translators. It needs people who can package it in a digestible form. And if you don't learn how to do that, your ideas will die with you, no matter how brilliant they are. Plato understood this. That's why he wrote dialogues, not treatises. He knew raw truth is indigestible, that it needs stories, metaphors, characters. He knew people don't accept ideas naked. They need narratives to wrap them in. And that's what Tesla didn't understand. He believed technical purity was enough. It wasn't. But here's the most dangerous part of all. When you translate too much, you dilute. When you oversimplify, you lose the essence. And then you end up selling a watered-down version of what you truly saw. And that too is a betrayal, but toward yourself, because you're sacrificing truth for acceptance. And that is the slipperiest slope of all. So what's the way out? There is no clear way out. Only hard decisions. You can remain pure to your vision and die misunderstood, or you can adapt and lose part of what makes you unique. Both options have a cost, and no one can tell you which is right. But here's what I can tell you. The world is not going to change for you. It's not going to wake up one day and understand what you see. If you want your ideas to survive, you have to learn to plant them in fertile soil, not in barren deserts. That means choosing your battles, choosing your audience, choosing your moment. Tesla threw his ideas into the void, hoping someone would catch them. Few did, and those who did exploited him. Do you know why? Because he didn't protect his vision. He gave it away. And the world doesn't respect what is given freely. It respects what is defended. Here comes the philosophical part that will resonate. The danger of seeing what others don't see isn't just external. It's internal. Because when you see beyond, you start questioning everything. Norms, beliefs, structures. And eventually, you question yourself. And that's the real danger. Not that the world rejects you, but that you reject yourself for not fitting in. Kierkegaard said, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom." And seeing beyond is the most terrifying freedom of all, because there's no guide, no map, no marked path. There's only you and what you perceive. And that can be liberating, or it can be a prison. It depends on how you handle it. Tesla lived obsessed with his visions. He couldn't turn them off. He couldn't ignore them. And that obsession consumed him. Because when you see something no one else sees, you can't rest until it becomes real. And if the world doesn't cooperate, you get trapped in an endless cycle of frustration. So how do you avoid that? By learning to let go. Not of the ideas, but of the need for everyone to understand them. Because here's the brutal truth. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will support you. Not everyone will follow. And that's okay. You don't need everyone. You only need the right ones. Tesla sought validation everywhere. Investors, scientists, governments. And when he didn't find it, he collapsed. But external validation is a trap. Because if you depend on others seeing what you see, you'll never be free. You'll always be waiting, begging, hoping for recognition that may never come. True strength is moving without validation, building when no one is watching, believing in your vision even when the entire world tells you you're wrong. Because in the end, history isn't written by those who waited for approval. It's written by those who acted despite disapproval. Seneca made it clear. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult. Seeing what others don't see is hard, but only if you expect it to be easy. If you accept difficulty as part of the process, it becomes manageable. Here is the final secret. The danger of seeing what others don't see isn't in the vision. It's in how you react to it. You can let it consume you, like it did Tesla, or you can use it as fuel. The difference is attitude. Tesla lived tormented because he believed the world owed him understanding, but the world owes nothing. The world simply is. And if you want to change it, you must accept it will be on your terms, not its own. So what do you do with what you see? You protect it. You cultivate it. You share it when the moment is right, with the right people, in the right context. You don't throw it into the void hoping someone will catch it. You plant it strategically, knowing some seeds won't grow, but others will. And here's the most important part. Don't measure your success by how many understand your vision today. Measure it by the impact it will have tomorrow. Because the ideas that truly matter don't shine immediately. They shine over time. And if you can accept that, if you can live with the uncertainty of not knowing whether your vision will be validated in your lifetime, then you are free. Tesla couldn't accept that, and it destroyed him. He died waiting for the world to recognize what he saw. But recognition came too late. And that is the most brutal lesson of all. Don't wait. Build for yourself, not for applause. Because applause is fleeting, but what you build in silence endures. The world is full of people who see what everyone else sees. And those people live comfortably, safely, accepted. But you are not those people. You see beyond, and that makes you dangerous. Dangerous to the system, dangerous to yourself, dangerous to mediocrity. And even if that isolates you, even if it consumes you, even if it forces you to question everything, it is also your greatest power. Because the one who sees what others don't see has the ability to change what others don't even know needs to be changed. And that, though dangerous, is the most valuable thing you can have. If you made it to the end, comment, "I respect myself," and I will personally reply. And if this content resonated with you, subscribe to be part of it and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Until next time.